Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. It's time to take the global stories that have made it to the front pages of our national dailies. And joining us to review the papers this morning is Shola Omolayo. He's a public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Fantastic. So this morning we'll begin with the Nigerian Tribune, and it leads with Senate proposes National Summit on Insecurity. The writer here says moves law on hunting to nip repeat of Uromi 16. Sets up 19-man committee to oversee emergency rule in Rivers. And reps to Pali Senate to restore democratic order. That's according to the speaker. And if we look over on the Punch, in a way, it's also a similar headline that says rising insecurity. NAS, that's the National Assembly, ex-generals demand urgent military armament. Senate moves to tackle killings as retired military chiefs. Reps lament insurgents' use of sophisticated arms. So I know one question that people have always asked is how come the military or the police force doesn't have as much sophisticated arms? But if you look at this, terrorists, they're dealing with really sophisticated ammunition that we don't even have. But knowing the fact that there's this rising insecurity in Nigeria that we're trying to curb, with this summit on the insecurity, what do you think needs to be done? How do you, if we were to advise them, I mean, hopefully they're listening, but what are some things that you would want to get out of that summit and, ensure that it's being put into action, the execution, because it's one thing to, just meet up and speak about something, but the execution is all that matters. And if we're saying that we need to curb insecurity to the barest minimum, what would you like to hear from that summit?
Well, it's a pity that we are still dragging this issue of insecurity this longer, losing lives, and we are losing our men. The information we receive from the areas where we have this crisis is not friendly at all, and so easily they will just attack our military and they go just like that. This is a force that is so recognized all over the world. We have done better, much better issue on time like this. We visit Nigerian force. The Nigerian military have entered into Liberia within a jiffy solution. They give to the people of Liberia the best atmosphere that is needed. In Sierra Leone, many places we have gone. This is a force that have fought in Liberia, Libya, Lebanon at a time, and highly recognized. I think this issue of security is becoming an enterprising thing. We need to source and look at where these people are getting their information and their finance from. And also, I think we are not also being fair to our military men when they are trying to execute some of their powers, when they get these people and they are trying to launch them out. And we begin to shout, they have killed the people, and these guys, which means that some of these people, which are the citizens of this nation, are beginning to align with the forces of these bandits that we call them, that we ought to really address them as terrorists. And they are taking over some local government, taking over some villages, and they stay for a time. And when we think that it's time for us to go launch them out, it's obvious that we get into some casualty, and the people begin to shout again, why did you do this? They're killing the moral of our force, It's not that they are that expert enough. And what is their force supply, with all these, and I want to say that some of these state governments should be questioned. They should be questioned. What are they doing with the security vote they've been getting all this time? They should be questioned. So whatever sitting they are going to have, I just expect if they are not going to be politicizing it, I hope we will get it right. It's just about being politicizing the issue. And I just hope that some people are not within the corridor begin to do business with some of these things we are talking about. Too bad.
Okay, so moving from the insecurity, what is your opinion on the 19-man committee that is being set up to oversee the emergency rule in Rivers State?
I just say that they should not politicize it. That's just it. If they are really serious, they should call a spade, and the state governor should be involved. It's not just about sitting down and telling us that, and the execution of their decision matters a lot. Sitting down and coming out with opinion, bringing out a conclusive plan which they think will work, and execution is the most important thing. Executing it is the most important thing. There's a lot of ideas and suggestions that they have. I can tell you for free, in keep our force, give them that liberty to launch these people out. It will take their time. It will take their time. I want to believe that they're sitting down is to discuss the political aspect of it or the business aspect of it. That's my belief. And I can be wrong. But allow this force to do what is needed. How can you imagine you are having a full general on ground, a 1-star general is on field, a 2 to 3-star general is given instruction, and you are telling me some group of guys are sitting down somewhere and they can't clear these people within a jiffy? Yes, the environment could be so the terrain could be so difficult for them to. You might say it is difficult. Difficult in your own nation, in your own country, where you live, where you can study the signals. Power forces are there to tell you the areas where you can get these people. Can we be serious for once? And if these people are going to execute what is to be executed, we should be prepared for some casualty that will be involved, and we should not be ready to begin to blame some of these officers for doing what is right, or else we just be playing the joker. That's why I say to you, you might say the terrain is difficult. These same soldiers has visited other nations outside the shore of Africa. They visited Lebanon. Go ask. Not for people to go and fight, not for party, they didn't go for any training. They went to go and fight, and they came back home triumphant. So if they really want to talk, they should pull out the business side out of it, and they should pull out the political interest out of it, and let us deal with security and deal with it appropriately.
Much for that. Another story here on the Nigerian Tribune says CSOs seek explanation on a 6 billion naira police uniform contract, files FOI request, and the writer here says to petition ICPC over alleged 234 billion naira police funds. So it's quite funny because with the security agencies, FCC, ICPC, EFCC, the Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Army. These are people who are up there in the corridors of power, and you would expect that they would want to uphold the law by any means. And corruption should definitely be far away from them. But when I hear 6 billion naira for police uniforms, I'm a bit gobsmacked, because I'm like, how? Why? But, well, thank God I'm not the only one asking these questions. Civil CSOs are also asking these questions, that they need some level of explanation. What do you think about this story? 6 billion naira for police uniforms. They're filing FOI requests right now, and to petition ICPC over alleged 234 billion naira police funds. Your thoughts, please.
Well, you just love talking. You just like talking. What is uniform compared to the lifestyle of the police force? What are we talking about here? These are chilly findings. We are talking of uniform. What is the condition of your police? Compare the kind of policing and the kind of police we should have in Nigeria with the acro of the image that Nigeria is carrying internationally. You are talking of uniform. You talk about their welfare. Now, in the days that we knew here in this same country, in the 70s and 80s that I saw with my own eyes, you understand it? The package is loving. Can you be too confident to say you want to take a refuge in a police station when you're traveling? Can you tell me that? You're talking of uniform. Second base. You see me laughing when we are talking about 6 billion. Is it about 6 billion? The police force need more than that 6 billion. We should be talking. The issue of uniform is elementary compared to what the police force is going through. Either you like them or not. They are welfare and common. Second base, Jerry.
All right. Another story here says, well, what we have here is Nigeria's first policy. So, long-awaited relief to manufacturers. That's according to MAN, the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria. And it says policy will boost nation's GDP by 56%, reduce unemployment by 37%. So, of course, this is the renewed hope Nigeria First policy that obviously is a major way to ensure that, you know, they're strengthening Nigeria's domestic economy and promoting local content. And for the manufacturers, they're like, oh, of course, this is a great thing. But with this, I know that, like I said it even in our top trending stories, that, you know, there are countries who have done this. China, for instance, they had to lock their borders, say they're going to produce what they're going to use. And we've seen how it has really changed their economy. Do you think Nigeria can replicate that? And do you think we're going to even have the confidence in ensuring that we buy this local produce, knowing that it would meet every standard, international standards as well?
Yes. And we need to beg our women and the women and the ladies to help us here. We was going to start with rice, because you are the people that your taste bud is so heavy that you don't want to eat local rice. You'll be saying, now this rice, we go to parties, please encourage our farmers, encourage Nigerians to enjoy our rice. But I can tell you for free, presently, the rice you are eating now, I can say between 65 to 85% of the rice you are eating in this country now is local. Forget all those packaging that you are seeing, calling them all kinds of things. The only one that can be a bit different from the local rice is the long green lemon, what you guys used to call it, that long one that is
basmati.
A bit longer. I think that,
is that the basmati rice? Basmati.
Yeah, that basmati. I know those two. That basmati rice is the one that you can say is a little bit different, and the cost is too high, and it's meant for the people, that on that side of Nigeria, the Lekki side where you people stay. Yeah. I mean, for us on this side, we are used to it. So we are appealing that Nigerians should first of all accept local. Let the name be accepted that this is Nigerian made. This is Nigerian produce, and it will go a long way. It will go a long way. Yeah, the pain will be there. The price may be high now because people are finding it very difficult, because local production could be very expensive. This power thing, Bible says, the first book of Genesis says that let there be light. That is the beginning of operation. If we cannot handle this light issue, and the minister is going back and forth, the same minister that's supposed to be defending the people is the one standing as an obstruction of hope. That is a problem. Because if we were to go local, outside security, just like they are sitting down now to say they want to see to it, if they can see to it and make it right, if the security aspect of this country is well managed, farmers are ready to go to work, either by the old ways of farming or the conventional way. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that you're saying this, because on The Guardian, that's exactly what the headline says. It says, how insecurity middlemen drive up rice prices, force mill shutdowns. And of course, there is so many data here that says challenges in Nigeria's rice value chain. It talks about gathering the inputs and how the seeds, the land, water, machinery, energy are all vital. But of course, insecurity remains a major concern when it comes to the access to the land. And then there's also the agricultural production. We also have, the trading and processing, even having to move it from the farms to the markets. the marketing, distribution, and the manufacturing, and then even the retail, right? And finally, the consumption. So, of course, insecurity, when we look at the farms, most farmers cannot even go to their farmlands because of the insecurity. And then you're still thinking of having to transport this. So when you're thinking of fuel subsidy being gone, of course, it has really affected the transportation sector. And right now, even the middlemen, because inflation is also there, are making so much money. And when it comes to our agricultural products, we cannot even buy this as much. So I'm sure a lot of people would say, if I'm going to buy this for this amount, why can't I just get a foreign one? I want to get your thoughts on that, because you were already speaking about agricultural products.
Why we are getting it on the high price because of these two factors. Yes. Get the security, fix the security, fix the power. Because for you to bring that, for you to split a rice, the processing is hard and it's about power. It is fire all the way before it gets to the market. You don't want to imagine what it goes through, what that rice, that part goes through before it becomes what you can eat. You understand me? So it is the rice production. The rice production before it gets to the market is almost, the demand is almost 75% processing by fire. So you need power. You understand it? If you can see to the security and the power source, because diesel is expensive and the government are not doing anything about diesel or gas to help farmers. Because if you are using tractor, what will power your tractor? Even in the farm, is it not the same stuff? So if you go through this finance, I'm trying to be elementary here, so you will understand why government has a big role to play. Before you even talk about road, the road cannot be challenged to the state governors. The state governors will not be held responsible. Knowing fully well that the kind of money that is in the hand of governor now, they never gotten such amount of money before. This times 3 of what the kind of funds they are receiving from Abuja is small. But if you don't meet the press demand, if you cannot take care of the press demand, you can't challenge the governors to do the needful in the area of their state rule or local rules that will help the farmer to bring this produce to the market. So we need to begin to talk about this thing. We have it. This is what we do in the past. If you talk of sorghum, if you talk of soya, if you talk of yam, the first thing you need to do is to prepare us, is to prepare Nigerians to know that the farmland is safe. Deal with the primary first before you begin to talk about the secondary.
That's right. We need to definitely look for a way to sort out insecurity, because of course that's one of the major factors. So if all of these factors are being looked upon and sorted out as swiftly as possible, then I'm sure we can start to see the price change and it would be beneficial for us. All right, let's look at some political matters here. It says defections. This is still on The Guardian. It says defections. The Delta federal state lawmakers switch allegiance to APC as Tinubu meets Obori. That's the governor of Delta State. On The Punch is a headline at the top that says defections. Okowa denies 500 billion naira refund claim as Obori visits Tinubu. So of course, you know, Okowa has, a case with EFCC for a huge amount of money. And a lot of people are saying maybe that's the reason why they had to defect. And of course, the governor of Delta State, Obori, is his boy. So whatever the guys at the top says, he would follow suit. And we even saw that with the assembly members too, all defecting. And it was quite funny because Delta State was known as a strong PDP state. But then we've seen the switch, we've seen these people just move. And the question is, what was your manifesto with PDP, and how don't you align anymore that all of a sudden you're going to APC because they're the ruling party? But I want to get your take on this, especially with the fact that Okowa has a case to face with EFCC. Right now, he denies the 500 billion naira refund claim, and then Oberewori obviously has met Tinubu. So yes, we're seeing everybody now become APC members, and maybe a one-party state might just arise. What's your thoughts on this?
No, you don't need to bother yourself about one-party state. It's a drama that we need to play, because when the calculator comes on board, mathematics is easy, when the political calculator is now the chairman of this political institution, what do you expect? Jagaban, who sat down and allow the former president to come on board, even when a whole general retired his interest in politics, and he wake up to say, "I shook," and he walked us out. He walked Nigeria out, excluding me. I always stand by it, and a lot of people know that about me, excluding myself and some people. He brought in Buhari for political calculation, and the chairman got him Befu. So what do you expect of other people? This whole drama is preparatory to the final game in 2026. You people are waiting for 2027. By the time you get to the polling booth, the result is done and dusted. All you just need to do is go and you will press it, either you like it or not. You will press it. If you don't press it in Lagos, you will press it in Kano. If you don't press it in Kano, you will press it in Igbo. And there's a lyrics that is on ground by the former chairman of APC himself, the person of what is his name said, that man that is now a senator. He said, "Come to APC and your sins are forgiven." My sister, don't play too long. Let's go. Second base.
All right, let's look at the Nature News. So the Nature News leads with UN partners commit $159 million to support people facing severe food crisis in Nigeria. Now, when you hear this headline, you're like, oh, fantastic. That is such a great cause. But when we know the intricacies, the nuances that we have as a country, and, even seeing what happened in the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry, you're a bit skeptical. Like, what's the data that we have to know the people who have this severe food crisis, and how is the data going to come at play to be able to support these people? I hope corruption doesn't rear its ugly head, whereby that money doesn't even go to the people that are deserving of it. But what's your own comment on this? UN partners commit $159 million. That's a whole lot of money, and like I said, if we do not have the data to ensure that we can support these people, because we now know the people, and whatever palliative we're going to give, it goes to the right channels, what's going to happen? How do you think this needs to come to play here?
You see, for me, I don't like discussing about international body. I don't know why. I always have the mindset that these people are still handling us like they are colonizing our mind in those areas. I'm not interested. I want to believe that they are collaborators with some of the problems they're having in this country. So whatever they are doing, I don't want to know. Whatever they are coming with, they can go to hell. Whoever wants to chop their money, that is a problem. Someday you might begin to know that it's a loan they are asking us to pay for. I'm not interested in some of their discussion. I read them, but it doesn't really mean anything to me, because they are just there to just make sure they are part of. They want to. I don't just think I like them. I just believe they are collaborators to some of the failures we are having in this part of the country. I don't like discussing them. Whatever they want to do, they should go. Whoever they want to give the money to, they should go ahead. I'm not interested. Nigeria is too bigger than all of this charlatan idea and charlatan help they are giving us. I don't think I'm interested, honestly.
All right, our final one that we're going to look at this morning on the Nature News says federal government approves draft bill for National Cocoa Management Board. So I'm of the opinion that agriculture is still what would sustain us. It has happened in the past, especially, the cocoa plantation and whatnot that you heard of. But for some weird reason, we kind of halted on that. And of course, even with insecurity that we've spoken about when it comes to our local farming here, has also played a major role in this. But looking at the fact that the federal government has approved a draft bill for, the Cocoa Management Board, what would you like to see from this? And how do you think that would even help us with our economy by generating more revenue?
Yeah, I think we are going, Nigeria is coming up again with the cocoa seed that is being given to people. I know too well that some area, there's a local government that will be giving out around 2,500 seeds, though very minimal. But it tells you that the government is so interested in the cocoa business, and that's one of the greatest business. The cocoa is like gold. You don't know what goes. This Igbo, that is what they eat. And I don't know the reasons why some of the past government have not really shown interest. When after Obasanjo left, we may not like him. He did a lot of things, just that we don't understand the terrain that Baba found himself when the boss came in 1999, coming into a stage of war. You see that farm, a lot of people are making money in the farm now. In cocoa, and cocoa is better off here in the southern part of Nigeria. And I want to believe that all the governors, if they are smart, excluding Lagos, because most of the time when we talk about farming, Lagos don't have that capacity, because Lagos don't have the land anymore. Where ought to be some reservation land has turned to all these people that are making an emergency fund in the areas, they are building estates that is not too relevant. You understand it? So I want to believe that the policy the government is putting up in that area, if they are so honest about it, and I can tell you for free, some state, in fact, there's one cabinet in this country, one of the strong cabinets we have in this country, is having a large farm of cocoa, and I believe that with the kind of seed we are having now in the cocoa world, in the next 4 years or thereabout, we are going to be getting results. And I believe that this committee or people that are going to set up to put out the right policy will also not be the policy that hard for the farmers that will be majorly involved in this trade. Thank you.
All right, just even piggybacking what you said, on The Guardian, it says over 75% of Lagos food supply from other states, says Lagos state government. So you just hit that right up. Anyways, this is how much you can take on this segment right now. Shola, I want to say thank you so much for coming. It's always a pleasure having you on our program. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for bringing a lady. It's better. I'm more relaxed than that, my organ. I'm telling me go walk. It's okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a lovely day. Thank you. All right, so we're speaking with Shola Omolayo. He's a public affairs analyst, and we've just been looking at the global stories that has made it to the front pages of our national dailies. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll be discussing our first hot topic, so please stay with us.